Ride on a sled.
Oh God, there's a bendy bit coming up.
Impressed my local guide with my Japanese cooking.
James, I'm so hungry.
It's
Hurry
all
up,
right.
please.
Come on, number 8.
And won money on a very slow horse race that was too boring to make the cut.
It's gripping, this.
This time, this.
May I blow your conch?
Somebody else wants to film my lunch.
Yes, we are completely naked. My grand tourism from the north to the south of Japan has taken me to Tohoku, part of Honshu, the largest and most populous island of Japan. This is the land of bustling megacities, neon lights, bullet trains, Tokyo. But of course, it's not all like that. Before I hit the big cities, I'm headed west into rural Honshu with my new translator, Maki. We're in the fruit and veg bowl of Honshu, but I'm on my way to meet a nut. Apparently, round here lives a rather eccentric inventor of robots.
If I was going to come anywhere to look at robots, the first place I'd think of would be Japan.
Right. Well, you have the right understanding of it.
Well, we've got a date then, Maki. I'm taking you out to the robot place.
Yeah, let's see how the day will turn out.
Of all the arenas of science and technology, the most disappointing is robots. Where's my robot butler I was promised? Bah, it's not here, is it? Even the Japanese aren't really that good at robots. It took them 20 years to get Honda's Asimo robot to walk convincingly. And even then it still falls over fairly regularly. But maybe we've got our attitude to robots all wrong. Maybe robots should be just a bit of a laugh. This robot cost $250,000 to build and is the brainchild of engineer Negumo Masahi. He's currently driving it, so like any good insane Bond villain, his face is obscured. I decide to coax him down from the cockpit to ask him the important questions. Are you mad?
クレイジーなのかな。自分でクレイジーじゃないっていうのはクレイジーなのかもしれないし。
May I have a go, kudasai?
はい。どうぞ。いろんな方に乗ってもらうために作ったもの。
Oh, I was expecting that to be a no.
Yeah, robotics is quite uncomfortable as it turns out. Right, I'm now turning left. It's very wobbly. Forwards to Tokyo. Very slowly.
It would actually take 4 days to reach the centre of Tokyo, even if it could cross the drainage ditch at the edge of the car park. But still, robots!
Stopping.
Could I say, domo arigato gozaimashita for letting me drive your wonderful robot. It's exactly what a robot should be. Superb.
まだ見てもらいたいものがありますので、これから準備いたしますので、ちょっとお待ちください。
Hey, was that a good... Did he say goodbye? Or...
Oh, there's another thing you should see, he said.
Oh, there's another thing. I thought that was a bit of a sudden exit. He is mad. Nagumo is kindly going to let me have a go at driving his 7-ton, 8.5-metre tall tour de force. Okay. This thing is bigger than any robot I've ever driven before, which was the one outside just now. And this one also has a design flaw stopping world domination. It's too big to go through the door of its own house.
So forward, back, left, right. Please, look me.
Yes. That's fantastic. But while I'm busy doing the robot, my neglected date has taken matters into her own hands. So that's finger control. Okay, so I'm going to go forwards. Oh yes, I can see the finger moving down here on this monitor. That's amazing.
Would James be ready? I'm coming to shoot you.
That is Mackie now on the main monitor, forward-facing camera, coming in, thinking she can pick a fight with us with her airsoft gun. So, are we all ready to take her on?
ready.
Here we go. Manoeuvring to the left. Okay, and... What we have here is a good old-fashioned Japanese standoff to find the fastest Gundam in the East. Did I hit?
Gary, what did you do to me?
Mackie just shot me in the robo-plums. Did you see that? Did I get her?
Look, everyone, this is what James May will do to a lady.
This is too easy. Oh, 2 more hits from Mackie. Hit in the head. Time to go in for the kill. Yes! I'm advancing right up on the other robot. This is ballsy stuff.
Tom, the GoPro falls from the window thanks to James.
Loser!
I am running away. Run away from the beast.
I'm fairly confident I won that 8-6. And I've changed my mind about robots. They're brilliant. I might even get one.
It's nice. It's like a married couple after having a big fight. We were back in the same car.
But not speaking, yeah.
Not speaking.
Just looking ahead like that.
Yeah. You are awful. You seem so sweet and so James May. I was expecting you would treat me like a lady and you act like a gentleman, like from England.
Maybe it's because I'm a cabbage roll. Is that right?
Yes, it's
Cabbage roll?
Yeah.
Mm.
Soft on outside, but then aggressive inside. This is how James May is. Everyone, did you see?
A cabbage roll. That's a bit of an insult in Japan.
No, it's not insult.
It's not an insult?
Yeah, it's just 3 different type of boys available in Japan.
So what are the 3 different types?
One is called Nikushoku-kei, meat eaters.
Meat eaters.
Yeah, confident.
Macho, then a meat eater is macho.
Yeah. Then there's another type called Soushoku-kei.
Soushoku-kei.
Soushoku is a vegetable eaters.
Okay.
So they are more shy,
Soushoku-kei.
reserved.
Well, they don't ask girls out and that sort
They're
of thing.
more slim. And then there's another type, which is could be you, cabbage roll. Roll cabbage in Japanese. So meat is inside. So aggressive personality, coated
With cabbage.
with cabbage, layers of cabbage. So when you meet him for the first time, you all think, oh, he's such a nice gentleman, very soft-spoken, kind, yeah, a bit shy. But then once you are in his house, when he feels comfortable with his own skin, he will go,
No man in his prime likes to be called a grabby cabbage roll by a lady. So, like the conclusion to all couples' arguments, I leave Mackie at the service station and drive off. Alone into the wilderness. You join me at a very spiritual moment. I am at the foot of Mount Hagaro, a sacred mountain, or at least it is to the Yamabushi monks. wandering ascetics who have populated these forests since the 7th century, and they practice a doctrine of shugendo. What that says is you leave your earthly cares and wares behind. I did that as I walked onto the bridge, and then you commune with nature, with the mountain in particular, to develop a sixth sense for the truth. And that is exactly what I'm going to go and do now. I'm going to meet Master Hoshino. Basically, I'm going for a walk in the woods with a top monk. This way. Slowly, because it's slippy. Konnichiwa.
James.
72-year-old Master Hoshino is a 13th generation Yamabushi priest, which means that his ancestors would have been leading pilgrimages on this mountain 350 years ago. This is to make it more difficult to find my emaciated corpse in the snow.
今日はね、まあせっかくこの出羽三山に来たんでね、お山を少し歩きましょう。
How far is it?
まあ、そうだね。少しだよ。やっぱり山伏っていうのはね、まあみんなとね、いろんなつなぐ役っていうかな。要するに神様やね、仏様とみんなをつないだり、あるいは自然とね、人をつないだり、そういう役割を持ってるんでね。だから日本の場合はその自然そのものが神様だったからね、その自然にお祈りをしながらね、そして自然と近づいていく、そういうこと。Okay?
Yep. Shugendo was a major spiritual movement in Japan from the 12th century until 1872, when it was banned as a superstitious religion by the Meiji government. But nowadays, Shugendo is being re-embraced as an escape from hectic urban life. It is very beautiful. It's just a bit slippery. That bit is very slippery. I'm trying to write a haiku. Snow on the mountain. Priest ascends the icy steps. Englishman on arse. That's very slippery. It is somewhat easier to achieve spiritual dignity when nature has gifted you a pair of spiky boots like Master Hoshino's. Too slippery, holy man.
Sita. James, mountain top okay.
Excellent.
Hey.
As a reward, may I blow your conch?
Aye, all right.
I've never done this.
Oh, yeah, take it.
Okay.
I've had.あんまり考えない。nature. Also. Okay, 素晴らしい。
That feels quite good.
Oh.
This is excellent. Blowing the horn had given me a raging thirst, and I felt I'd earned a drink. Now you join me at a slightly awkward moment because after our very enlightening walk in the mountains, I thought Master Hoshino said, "Would you like to join me in the bar?" It was the bath. More specifically, an onsen, which is a specific type of bath. The definition, in fact, has been protected under Japanese law since 1948. To qualify as an onsen, it must be the product of volcanic activity. It must be geothermally heated to at least 25 degrees. I'm delighted to say this is rather more than that. And it must contain traces of 18 minerals. If you were wondering, and to save you starting a rather tedious thread on Twitter, yes, we are completely naked. And the reason I have the small towel on my head is not because I'm celebrating the British seaside holiday of the 1950s. It's because this little scrap is what I use to hide my vile body, as Evelyn Waugh would have put it, when I climb out. The cameras will be cut by then, not because I'm embarrassed, for your sake. And I'm embarrassed. It's finally time to hit a real city, Sendai. And as I join the Dawn Chorus to line up for a very different type of ritual, I'm glad that my soul is now clean and uncorrupted. I feel like a pervert. It's 20 to 7 in the morning, for God's sake. I'm reluctantly in line for a J-pop gig. Japanese pop for you out-of-touch granddads. Okay, don't arigato. I've got a hot ticket to see the Zenryoku Boys, the Detroit Spinners of Sendai City. What's impressive about this is that the Zenryoku Boys have cornered an uncharted part of the pop market, actually, the 7 a.m. pop concert. It only lasts about half an hour, and it's designed to entertain commuters before they go to the office and schoolgirls before they go to school. It's quite impressive considering that they're all teenagers and they really should be in bed for another 3 or 4 hours. But no, it's something stranger.
卒業おめでとう。2年前に出会った時はこうして卒業を祝うことになるとは思っていませんでした。
I always thought the Japanese were a pretty stoic nation, but the whole place has turned into something Richard Curtis would find a bit soppy.
高校は卒業したけどボーイズは卒業させません。大好きだよ。
Just to be clear, my eyes are watering from the smoke machine, even though there isn't one. I know it's the objective of the crew to try and make me look an idiot on this show, but that's actually ruined me. I've been with a load of teenage girls to see a boy band on TV. They were good though. I thought they were excellent. Excellent performers. I couldn't do that at that age. I was completely hopeless. Let's go and meet them. Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa.
Oh,
thank you.
High five.
Thank
Excellent.
you.
Excellent performance. I feel like the Queen after the Royal Variety performance. Except I actually enjoyed this. Then the boys suggested giving me my own J-pop makeover. Please just use your artistry. And since I'd already blown my hair and wardrobe budget on Saki, I agreed. This is because it's very old.
サンタさんみたいな。ジェームスは何が一番自分の時間取られる？
Mending motorcycles. I have a 360 Bentley
嬉しい。
and a Super Cub.
スーパーカブ？
Yes,
本当に？
very old one.
すげえ、嬉しい。
I decided to wrap this up before they started asking me if I was going anywhere nice this year. Right, that's good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
かっこいい。
I was going to have to blue steel myself for what was next. Hair was just the start. Against unanimous public opinion, apparently, I need a new wardrobe. Domo arigato. I'm already wishing I hadn't come.
かっこいい。アメリカン。
This is quite a cool
かわいい
piece
ね。
of clothing.
いい感じ。
I feel that I defile it.
で、
I like this. Do we agree that this hoodie's good?
If it doesn't look good, I would say that.
Because you're Japanese, you are obliged to be polite and flattering It's like you say, oh, your jeans are very nice, James. Oh, your driving is wonderful, James. But you don't mean it. You're just being polite.
I never said your jeans were good.
If you lot wait outside on the street, I'll make a final decision, then I'll come and do a reveal, yeah?
多分来てくれてないね。
多分来てくれてないよ
多分来てくれてない。
あんまりなんか
Right, you ready?
OK
Ready, the new
OK
me?
いいよえ祝やんけそれ
Come on. It's my treat.
私服これ祝や
I
んけ
don't know why I agreed to go clothes shopping. I already did that in 1984. Those Zen Ryoko boys, they're a nice bunch of lads and I hope they make it big. I really should have left that final thought there, but their youthfulness got me feeling a bit unzen. I really do. I hope they don't end up 40 years old in a dead-end job, grinding their teeth over what might have been. I think I'd better leave Sendai quickly and find something much more historical to look at. 50 miles south, in a place called Minamisoma, are the heirlooms of a much older Japanese group. Now, we cannot really come to Japan without discussing the samurai and their life code of Bushido. And you might be forgiven for thinking this was all invented by Tom Cruise, but I'm afraid it's actually a bit more complicated than that. More of this in voiceover. The samurai were the warrior class of Japan, trained from boyhood in the art of war and fanatically loyal to their overlords until death. The samurai and their austere code of chivalry commanded fear and respect for centuries. Aota-san, who I am about to meet, is a genuine samurai, the descendant of a samurai clan. And you needn't be alarmed, he's not going to shout, "For the Emperor," and cut my head off with a katana. He's actually a retired farmer, and these days devotes himself to collecting and repairing his dynasty's weapons and armour, which he is now going to show me. And then he's going to cut my head off with a katana. Aota-san's home is packed with enough kit to start a small regional war. For the purposes of historical osmosis, I agree to be dressed in full samurai armour. I'm trying not to take it personally that everyone I meet seems to want to give me a makeover. You join me in my thermal underwear. Aota-san here is going to dress me. So these are like foot mittens. This could take a while. Was all this armour owned by your direct ancestors?
はい、そうです。もともとは千葉県に相馬家と一緒にいたんですけども、だいたいですね、680年くらい前になりますか。
Now here we have the samurai equivalent of shin pads, or Shinto pads. These, I think, are these beaten iron? It is. It's getting quite heavy, and I think my hair may have become a part of it. What if I can't stand up at the end of all this?
大丈夫ですよ。男ですよ。侍は立てますよ。
Oh well, that's all right then. The samurai were devoted to a code of conduct called Bushido, demanding loyalty, courage, veracity, compassion, and honor, as well as a lifestyle of strict martial discipline. Stand. Finishing touches. Oh, I like this bit. I know a London club where this would be perfectly acceptable.
Torture Gardens.
I meant the Chelsea Arts Club, if you don't mind. This is a 300-year-old katana, if anybody has anything fatuous to say. I suspect not. James is looking fabulous today in this 30-piece cast-iron spring ensemble from ancient Minamisoma. Perfect for fancy work meetings and massacres. Mr. Aota-san's son has gone for the winter look, with matching helmet. The samurai might have a long military history, but after all that lengthy dressing up, I'm surprised they didn't miss half the wars they were invited to. See? I've missed it. I said strictly no horses. The samurai fought their last battle in 1877. Around the same time, a different mode of transport was becoming popular. Perhaps if they just made use of that, they might have ridden on to more victories. I've modernised it. Just then, I get a phone call from the irate manager of a Japanese service station, demanding I pick up Maki. We decide to stop just south of Sendai, where Maki says she wants to make things up to me by giving me some tongue. You should all be ashamed of yourselves. So pick a piece up. Gyutan, as it's known, is thinly sliced tongue cooked over a charcoal grill. And since it was first served here in 1948, Sendai has become known as the beef tongue capital of the world. I'm a British man doing a barbecue, so that means it will taste terrible.
Ooh, look at this.
Okay. Because I want to ask you...
Yeah, maybe you want to place over here, so they will not touch the meat juice.
Yes, that's a good point. That's unhygienic.
Yeah, it's hygienic.
Excuse me for speaking with my rifle. It's nice. It is nice. I thought it would be... It actually tastes a bit like pork. Tell me, what do you really think about the British?
What do we think about them?
Do you think we're a bit smelly and scruffy?
No, it's the image of this. The Queen.
Oh.
So like we call British gentlemen. So they are polite, cultured, classy. But then this show has been proving me wrong.
Oh, okay. Onegai shimasu, ni biru kudasai. Are you not very good at drinking?
That is wrong. Japanese people can hold alcohol quite well. Maybe better than British.
Oh, possibly. Domo arigato for bringing me here. Don't tell me.
You're taking too long. My form is getting thinner and thinner.
Give me the first letter.
Ka.
Ka. Kampai.
Kampai. Kampai.
Kampai.
Kampai.
All those who aren't having a beer.
Yeah.
Kampai.
Sorry, everyone.
This is great. Right then, where to next? No, not there. Here. As a keen student of haiku, nearby Matsushima Bay holds particular significance. Now, back in the 17th century, the Japanese scholar Ayashi Gaho identified the three perfect views of the country. One of them is a sandbar outside Kyoto, another is a temple outside Hiroshima, and the third, probably the most famous, is this one, the island group of Matsushima. Over 260 of them, and they're absolutely gorgeous. And it must be said that the Japanese have even managed to miniaturize the view, because some of these islands are really tiny. They're no bigger than a garage, and they're all covered in tiny little bonsai trees. It's fantastic. Look at that one over there. One of the best known of the old Japanese haiku is in fact about Matsushima Bay. For a long time it was attributed to Basho, the greatest of the haiku masters, but actually more recent scholarship suggests that it wasn't by him at all, because it wasn't recorded until over 100 years after his death. But it doesn't actually matter who wrote it, because whoever it was so overcome with the beauty of this place that all he could come up with was Matsushima ya, ah Matsushima ya, Matsushima ya, which is usually translated as Matsushima, Matsushima, oh Matsushima. It is annoying this. I've been standing here for something like half an hour trying to compose my own haiku about Matsushima Bay, and I can see why it was so difficult, because it somehow eludes description in 17 syllables. Which is quite annoying really, because I'm about 5 minutes away from my first lesson in Japanese calligraphy. I wanted something nice to write. I've got one idea. This is Kishi Kaiko, one of Japan's leading calligraphy experts. I hope my poem is worthy of her talents.
James May.
That's my name.
James.
That's how they say James in Japan. They say James. It's beautiful. It's beautiful because I don't know what it says. You just think that's a fabulous picture. If you know that it just says James May, it loses some of its appeal, to be brutally frank. Okay, I'm going to show you my haiku. Matsushima, Basho ga Sarishi, O Matsuo Basho.
Oh, very good.
It means, Matsushima, Basho has long departed. We are lost for words. Within moments, Sensei Kaiko has rendered my haiku into the cursive style of calligraphy, the quickest and hopefully simplest type for me to attempt to copy. So what we have here is, this is quite common, it's a combination of kanji, which is the pure pictorial language, which was adopted from the Chinese, and hiragana, which is more like, it's closer to our writing. It is phonemes or vowel sounds or letters as single squiggles, but they can be combined. So this is a mixture of the two, which is why some of it looks like pictures, some of it almost looks like Arabic.
Wow.
This is tremendously good fun.
Smile. Okay.
Right, should we do a sensei versus student comparison? Sumimasen.
Sumimasen.
Oh, sumimasen. I know. Here is my gift to you. Domo arigato.
Thank you.
What I lack in brushmanship, I make up for in cunning. That was what I was hoping for. Domo arigato gozaimasu. What an excellent exchange. I now own my haiku, but written by a master. That is priceless. That was fantastic. I loved that. And finally, the mystery of Matsushima is recorded in verse on paper for posterity. Remember, you saw it here first. The islands of Matsushima are not just aesthetically inspiring. They also buffered the bay from the worst of the 2011 earthquake and tsunami. The magnitude 9 earthquake was so massive it moved Honshu Island eastward by 8 feet. Over 15,000 people died in the tsunami, and 2,500 are still unaccounted for. And in Fukushima, the tsunami caused 3 reactor core meltdowns at the nuclear power station, the second worst nuclear accident in history. So in a few kilometres' time, we're going to get to the edge of the restricted zone around the power station. You can drive through it, but you're not supposed to stop, you're not supposed to get out, you're not supposed to pick anything up or take it away. Oh, it's all closed.
It's all closed. No one is here. No one is allowed.
Look, there's just a load of new cars parked. They're all covered in weeds. After restrictions were lifted 2 years ago, 900 residents returned to the nearby town of Namie, which originally had a population of around 17,500. The government has assured these residents that the radiation levels are safe. I should just explain, we have this little, as it's going up slightly, we're at 0.21 nanosieverts of radiation, which is okay, as we're only here for a short time. 0.24. 3.5. It's going up quite quickly though. Do you mind keeping an eye on that?
Oh.
What do we
Beijing. 0.52 is harmful.
We're now on the edge of the safe zone. Oh, hang on, let's have a look at this. This is very bad. Geez, that's 4.94. That's dangerously high. I'm not sure anybody should be here.
It's supposed to be safe to be back.
Well, that's what alarms me. Everybody says this is the edge of the zone and you should be quite safe here, but that's actually the highest reading we've had.
Yeah.
And that thing was calibrated this morning. Let's take it with us and see what it does.
Yeah, let's do it. Oh, it went up.
Oh, there you go. 1.27.
I think it's where?
When I open the door, do you think it's... Well, we can't have a radiation-proof Toyota.
Does it?
No, that does. Maybe if Mackie turned it off and then turned it on again, we'd be okay. Looking left and right is rather cursory. I've arranged to meet Oshimitsu Kazuki,
こんにちは。
はい、いらっしゃいませ。
one of the residents who, along with his wife and baby, decided to move back.
ありがとうございます。
What made you come back? Because you're obviously not going to get that many customers.
ただただ自分のこの浪江町っていう地元が好きだからってそれだけです。ここで何かがしたかったんです。
And were you here when the meltdown happened?
私自身が、町の消防団っていうのがあったので、それに所属していたので、消防車両で皆さんを誘導していたので、何も持ってなかったです。
And is it safe to live here? Because we are reading 2.7 nanosieverts. We have almost 5 down the road. Is it safe?
いろんな心配はあると思うんですけど、自分でこの先に明るいものを見ないと何もできないんで、この場所が好きでこの場所でやりたいからこそ不安な気持ちもあるけど、それ以上に何かしたい気持ちを強く持って今やってる現状ですね。もう今は誰も住んでないです。
Has this car been here since the disaster? That's interesting because actually when you get close to it you can see that it's been standing here. So that's quite unusual to see rust. Oh no, that's just still got the telephone charging cable plugged into the power socket. Oh. It's probably shouldn't really... There. It's actually open. I won't touch it, it's bad.
そうですね、ここもずっとそのままですし、ここにも友人がいて、この家で遊んだこともありますし、この周りでサッカーしたり野球したり。
Is it not difficult living here now knowing that a lot of your friends will never come back?
その人間が誰もいないですし、今はその仲間とこの街でまた遊びたいなとか、飲みに歩きたいなとか、そういう気持ちはたくさんありますけど、もうとりあえず前を向くしかないんでやってますけど、すごく寂しい気持ちは強いです。
It does seem a bit nosy, but it is just remarkable that you can still see there the signs of instantaneous abandonment. I mean, there is still kitchen stuff, everyday, really everyday stuff. That's what makes it seem tragic. It's hard to imagine what Oshimitsu has been through, but it's clear to me that he wants to be seen as a survivor and not a victim. Well, I think that's quite remarkable, really, because as a firefighter, he was one of the last people out, and as a restaurateur, he was one of the first people back in. We could probably learn something from that. And also, I think what he's doing is remarkably bold, so good luck to him. I'm going to come back in a couple of years. My visit to Namie marks the end of my trip to Tohoku. It's a sobering finale to a region rich in modern and ancient Japanese rites, where I've been taught the correct protocols for dressing, writing, and of course, bathing. And now, to invoke the spirit of another British traveller, it's on to somewhere completely different. I've decided to head south on the train. Now, it's about 200 miles from here to Tokyo, and if I did that on one of Japan's famous bullet trains, it would only take about an hour, because they do 200 miles an hour. And they're not even a new idea. The bullet trains have been around since about a year after I was born. That's how old they are. Today, though, I'm going to take 6 hours by train to go to Tokyo because I'm going on something called the Shikishima train, and it is the most luxurious train in the world. Konnichiwa. Domo arigato. The Shikishima's aesthetic has been dreamt up by Ken Okuyama, a designer who worked on the Ferrari Enzo and the Porsche 911, the 996 series with the funny headlights. There's something of the supercar about this train. But unlike a supercar, it's designed to go slowly. The 10-car train accommodates just 34 passengers in 17 suites, and every fixture and fitting has been meticulously designed, from the traditional bentwood to the hand-woven carpets made by a company who supply the Vatican. Luxury like this, of course, doesn't come cheap, but thankfully the train's holding a press junket day to show itself off, and we've blagged our way on board. It is absolutely exquisite on here, all the details, the lights, the woodwork, the aluminium, the tablecloth, it's just fantastic. You can stay on this train for up to 4 days, in which case the ticket will cost you a trifling £8,000. But everything about it is fabulous. The Orient Express is often referred to as the Shikishima of Europe. In a moment, I'm going to be served the first course of my French lunch made by a Michelin-starred Japanese chef. And in fact, here it comes now. You'd almost think we'd arranged it. Domo arigato. It's a sliver of raw salmon anointed with some leaves, a tiny little piece of spring onion, and a flower. And that. Excellent. I'm not supposed to eat it. What am I supposed to do with it?
There's another media who want to film this food for this lunch. They can't eat.
Somebody else wants to film my lunch?
Yes.
Why don't they get their own bloody lunch? Tickets are 8,000. Seriously, I'm not supposed to eat it.
You're not supposed to eat. You are supposed to allow other people. Okay, so you have to stand up, but we have to let other media to come in and film.
And anyway, it's the best compliment you can pay a chef, to think, that's nice, and start eating it.
Yeah. But you have to respect other media as well, right? Hurry.
Are they very angry?
Yeah, the lady looked at me. She got this look. And then she looked at me like as if I didn't explain to you.
So there's other camera people on here.
Right.
So they all film the same lunch. So the other people are going to take pictures of it, say, look at the exquisite food on the Shikishima train, but there's actually a bit missing because I've eaten.
Exactly, because you ate. It's all your fault. You will have to do gomen nasai. So
Okay, I will go and say sumimasen.
Yeah.
Do it tashamashtu.
No, you don't say do it
No, no, 'cause that would mean
yourself. You don't say I'm sorry and you're welcome.
No. Sorry. Sumimasen. I didn't mean to eat the salmon sake starter. Sumimasen. The sake, sumimasen. Chef, sumimasen. Sumimasen about the salmon. Could you say I'm sorry about the salmon? Sumimasen. After the entire train had accepted my prostrate shame, the chef took pity on me and gave me some edible lunch. Though, of course, I was now too nervous to eat it.
So, just to be clear, can James eat this food or not?
Yes, so James can eat.
I can eat this food.
Yes, you can eat.
Can I have a glass of wine, or does the New York Times want to take a photograph of it? Am I allowed to eat that?
Yes.
And that? And that? That's nice. Otsukare samines. Otsukare samines.